My stuff is very, it's been described as very salt of the earth, very blue collar, very work ethic oriented. It's meant to be understood by anybody. It's meant to be very non-intimidating. You know, the clown's a clown. The guy holding an absinthe bottle is a guy holding an absinthe bottle. Essentially, like, the characters in my work are based off of people that I have met or stories that I've heard from people that I have met. And then what I do is I kind of morph them into what I need them to be in order to make a visually appealing piece at the end of it.
My style gets a little tricky because I'm constantly evolving, like probably every 6 months to a year, and it's not boredom, but I think a lot of it has to do with just like my mind's always like, oh, what happens if I do this with that, or experiment with this, and that, or just constantly keep pushing. But the new body of work is pretty much, I guess a lot of my older work was kind of just like painting for painting's, you know, sake or purposes, but I think a lot now it's, I think about a lot more what I'm doing, and this new body of work has, like, I guess, more symbolism and more meaning.
Basically, all my inspiration comes from, I'm very influenced by, like, 1930s Depression era carnivals from like the late 20s to the late 50s. People who essentially you can look at them and you can tell that they've had a life, that they've seen things, that they've lived life, that they've encountered a bunch of characters, that they're a character themselves. I like the idea of storytelling with my work without being so over the top, preachy. I'm telling a story. I have a love for tangible products.
Looking at my work, I just constantly keep analyzing. I'm like, I know I can do better. I know I can do better. So it's just, I guess that's why I'm constantly evolving in such a period of time, because I try to tap into, I guess, just keep bettering myself instead of just, you know, the same old, same old. So. I think once I started doing a lot more, I guess, human-like characters, there was a more message-based, I guess, paintings, but still subtle, because like he mentioned, I don't like to be too preachy about my work. I want to, you know, open for interpretation at certain points.
And I think ultimately your stuff's kind of about, like, perseverance. It's about, like, pushing through to that next
pushing,
level.
Yeah, for instance, like the horns are just kind of just like constantly pushing yourself, you know, not trying to stay stagnant.
Overcoming obstacles.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Tyler is, he's one of those people who is he's a jack of all trades. He's a graphic designer, he's a toy designer, he's a graph writer, he's a fine art painter. So you can see with his work, he kind of likes to marry all of those things into one. I think the most easily recognizable is the figurative version of fine art, but then sort of the abstraction and the, I guess you could say, like, the color palette and the looseness of graffiti. He likes to marry those two things, and he executes it very, very well.
Talking with Brent one time, he said he pretty much has all his styles pretty much planned out. And instead of just giving all one shot, he kind of just like trickles it bit by bit. But I think everything, he already knows the direction he's going in. It's like he takes his time to get from point A to point Z. So he always has like, all right, I know what I'm going to do when I get to like G, E, F, or whatever it is.
Yeah, his stuff's very, very, very colorful. Very, I think his biggest thing is he likes to deconstruct in order to reconstruct. He pulls a lot of things apart and then puts them back together to make the thing that is in his mind, whatever that may be. It's very much an honor, and it's very, very humbling to be kind of in with every one of these guys that are in this show, and girls.
I've been showing since 2007. It's definitely one of the best galleries I've showed with. Everything's, I would say if I put 110%, I want the gallery to do just as much to kind of meet together, and Converge definitely does all of that. Everybody
that we've met here has been real, just like, oh, tell me. I think the biggest thing is everybody here has been really interested to kind of learn about us.
Yeah, and genuine. It's not you know, everyone looks genuine and honest, like real humble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, you know, it's always, whenever you show a large body of work in a new area, it's always a very humbling experience because you never know how it's going to be received. You never know if people are going to hate it, if people are going to love it. And as artists, I think that's what we want. We either want people to love it and obviously purchase a piece or a print or or a figure or whatever product we have. But then also, if there's going to be people who do not, if there's going to be people who don't like what you do and aren't going to buy it, and that's not on the horizon, then you want people to dislike it so much that they cause a stir about it.
Yeah, they start talking about it like, oh, I can't hate, I hate this artist and blah, 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 and it just keeps trickling,
Because then people...
You never want to be in between.
Right. Because then I think people want to know, okay, like, why do so many people hate this?
Yeah.
Or, like, why does this disgust so many people? Or why does this make people feel uneasy? I think, like Josiel said, you want either one or the other. You don't want people to walk in and just be like, yeah,
Yeah, like,
it's pretty good.